If you have ever struggled with social anxiety, you might agree that it feels like every room you enter comes with a magical spotlight that highlights all of your flaws in excruciating detail to everyone else in the room. For others, it might feel like their mind is screaming, "Don't mess this speech up," while simultaneously making you forget how to form words in your mouth. It's brutal, it's lonely, it's infuriating, and it's really, really common. Yet despite that, 80% of people with social anxiety never seek help for it. And if we've not met before, my name is Oliver, I'm a psychotherapist here in Los Angeles, and I've been helping people with anxiety for close to a decade. So if you know someone who is stuck in this invisible prison of social anxiety, you could share this video with them. I really want to help people break free. And if this relates to you, click on one of the buttons below. You can set up a free consultation with me or one of my team members, and we can answer your questions and tell you what the options are. In this video, I'm going to tell you all about the rules of social anxiety that it is forcing you to follow, and more importantly, how you start breaking them. So I believe that anxiety is a combination of our psychological defenses and faulty thought patterns. And social anxiety, like every anxiety disorder, has one goal, and that is to get rid of doubt, distress, and uncertainty by keeping you small, safe, and separate. My big problem with this is that it completely goes against our human desire to feel connected with other people. People with social anxiety come to therapy thinking the solution is to feel more calm in social situations or to learn coping skills, what we call elimination strategies. But this is actually part of the problem because it aligns with anxiety's goals to keep you small, safe, and separate. It's an approach that's like treating a sore throat with ice cream. It feels soothing in the moment, but it's not really getting into the infection. My approach means that we need to get underneath the hood and look at the engine of social anxiety, and that is what my treatment program is all about. The best way to understand social anxiety is to see how brilliantly it worked for our ancestors. When we were hunter-gatherers, tracking game, dodging saber-toothed tigers, hoping to survive winter, survival wasn't just about weapons or fear, it was about staying bonded to the group too. If the tribe kicked you out of the village, you died. So anxiety was this internal alarm that kept us connected. It whispered, "Don't offend the villagers," or "Mind your manners," or "Share your food." Being vigilant about other people's opinions was life insurance. But fast forward to today, the wiring hasn't changed, but the landscape sure has. We don't need the village council's approval to eat dinner, yet the same circuitry fires when we imagine colleagues judging us or strangers evaluating our outfits. What once protected us now kind of overreacts. We're sort of navigating the 21st century life with Stone Age security system that treats gossip like a saber-toothed tiger attack, right? Modern culture cranks out the volume even louder, though. We live in this very individualistic society that celebrates self-reliance while tying self-worth to resume, salaries, and follower counts. So the brain fuses all of these very mixed messages. You're better off on your own, but you'd better impress everyone. And so the alarm bell rings constantly. When clients describe social anxiety, their stories kind of fall into three main categories, each starting with similar thoughts about, if I mess up, I'll be humiliated. What will they think of me? Or I must impress everyone. The first arena is comparing ourselves to others, worrying about other people's opinions, focusing on our inadequacies and their success. So the first arena is all about social interactions. We constantly compare ourselves to others, worry about other people's opinions. We focus on our own inadequacies and other people's successes. The anxiety that was meant to prevent rejection now prevents us from connecting. The second arena is public speaking or performance, and this triggers panic attacks or intense physical symptoms in some people. The fear of public humiliation creates this baseline anticipation, right? And then we've got messages from society saying that we've got to impress people. What that means today is that we fear that one mistake will destroy our standing and lead to ostracism and having to survive on our own out in the wild. It was useful 2,000 years ago, not so much now. Social anxiety seems to infiltrate all of our closest relationships, generating fear of dependency, or fear of being rejected, or fear of being hurt, or fear of disappointing others. So then we start avoiding relationships or controlling our relationships because the fear governing all of our social interactions impacts all of our relationships. So these mechanisms that were designed to keep us connected in the past now prevent connection, which leaves people feeling isolated and lonely, which is exactly what it was designed not to do. Treating social anxiety is really complicated because of a bit of a paradox. We want and need human connection, but anxiety wants us to stay small, safe, and separate. So avoiding people doesn't work. That only intensifies anxiety's fear that other people are dangerous. Safety behaviors don't actually address the root cause. I scream for a sore throat. And worrying about things doesn't actually do anything because it's all mental chatter. So the solution requires facing uncertainty, and intolerance of anxiety is at the root of all anxiety disorders, and in particular, social anxiety. So I have to convince clients to actually want to feel uncertain, because when you start to face it in small and controlled ways, you develop a capacity to tolerate it more. A client of mine recently had to do this challenge with me. He got invited to a dinner party with a friend, but then the scenario changed and somehow 4 people that he hadn't met before were also coming. This was worst case scenario for someone with social anxiety. But anxiety is persistent, predictable, and patterned. So we knew that this situation was going to cause all of the anxiety, self-doubt, and strategies to come up. And because we'd done the work, my client knew that anxiety would jump in with all of its usual tricks. You don't know anybody, nobody's going to like you, you won't have anything interesting to say, why would you say yes to this? You're an introvert, you don't need to go to dinner parties. But he understood that all of this was going to happen, he was able to predict it, and he said yes anyway, felt the uncertainty and attended it. He pushed back against what anxiety was telling him was going to happen, and he had an excellent time. He met some interesting people, exchanged a few phone numbers. So the success came from anticipating what anxiety was going to say and stepping into the uncertainty anyway. The rules of anxiety that show up in social anxiety are the smallest safe directive, that whisper that says, stay small, don't be seen, hide. And following this rule shrinks your world, and when your world shrinks, everything on the outside appears more dangerous, more threatening. So you start sacrificing opportunities in life itself because everything gets scarier and bigger the more you do it. The comparison contract is a really big part of social anxiety. This convinces you that everyone else is smarter, more confident, naturally better at social interactions while you are awkward and incompetent. And that can make you say no to life. The self-attack statute assumes that you are incapable, you've done something wrong. It tortures you with all of the real or imagined mistakes that you will make, have made, are going to make. Its goal is to ensure that you will avoid all social interactions by convincing you that anything involving people is a terrible idea. And the law of inadequacy makes competent adults feel like children, right? It convinces you that you lack basic social skills despite decades of successful interactions. It tries to make you feel helpless, small, and insignificant, and ignoring the fact that you've navigated millions of social interactions quite successfully. So your path forward with social anxiety treatment occurs when you anticipate, understand, and refuse to engage with the rules. We actively build evidence to counter anxiety's arguments by stepping into uncertainty in very controlled ways that you discuss with a therapist. And finally, wanting to prove anxiety wrong and wanting to experience uncertainty is perhaps the hardest thing that we do, but it is the game changer in having anxiety loosen its grip on you. So if you want help with social anxiety, all you have to do is click one of the links below. You can set up a free consultation call with me or one of my team members, and we will answer your questions and tell you what the options are. And we'd love to hear from you.